Welcome to Bob Wessels Vlogs. I'm asking your attention today for corporate restructuring in Asia. And I do that because the publication of this book, you see the title, Corporate Restructuring and Insolvency in Asia 2020. I will give you 3 reasons why it's valuable as a project in Asia and also why it's valuable to read the book. First of all, the book relates to a project. The project is organized by the ABLI, the Asian Business Law Institute, and AAI, the International Insolvency Institute. They came together some 3 or 4 years ago. The book itself is the output of the first phase of the project, and I will speak to you about that later. I'm rather involved, I have to say, to the project because I'm one of the some 10 advisors coming from Europe to the project. First of all, the project relates to 10 ASEAN countries and their major trading partners. The ASEAN countries are those countries that we know from the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. And these are Brunei, Cambodia, Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and others. And the trading partners of this group of ASEAN countries are countries like China and Australia. As I said, it's a project. Of course, you have to organize a project, and the project has as a main indicator 2 phases. The first phase is a mapping exercise, taking stock of all the legislation and practices in those areas. And the second phase is trying to formulate recommendations based on those national legislations. The mapping exercise is based on a questionnaire, because it's not some 10 or 20 people dealing with the topics themselves, but they've set out questionnaires of some 200 questions to academics and practitioners in the jurisdictions that I mentioned. And I'm proud to say that the questionnaire that was used is the questionnaire that was used also by Professor Madaus and myself when we advised the European Law Institute on business rescue in Europe. And that recommendation, that questionnaire, you will see in this book. And if you go to the website of European Law Institute, you will see that the book was handed over as the first copy. I think it was the first or the second week in September. And the second phase will be that trying to distill from all those reports the most obvious recommendations to deal with business rescue. All these projects are related to in-court and out-of-court restructurings. I've written them down. The role of office holders, the effects of a stay and a moratorium, rescue financing, credit ranking, small and medium-sized enterprises, and also cross-border insolvency matters. That's an interesting job, especially interesting because the jurisdiction mentioned, of course, have different levels. I would say different levels as to the democracy in those countries, different levels of having businesses, larger, smaller businesses. For instance, a level of sophistication of insolvency practitioners and judges. They have also varied levels of appreciation of judgment coming from other countries. So it's not an easy task, but a challenging one, to step into phase 2, to have common foundations, to build, to come to what will be finally called the Asian Principles of Business Restructuring. Well, to close, the value of the book, for me at least. First of all, if you are interested in insolvency law and of course As a lawyer, I love the insolvency law. The value of the book is, first of all, a unique coverage. You get your information from countries that have been unknown to us for several years, like Malay, new regulations in India, for instance, but also in Indonesia. It's a very interesting read. The second is, it is very broad and practical. All the questions, just mentioned a few of them, are dealt with because the unique questionnaire has been used, are dealt with by those practitioners. And remarkably, the book, also for academics interesting, is very well sourced. So there are a lot of footnotes with literature and legislation. Well, in the end, phase 1, this beautiful book, is a start for phase 2. The phase 2 is the most challenging one, a joint effort by some 100 people, all connected to the Asian Business Law Institute or the International Insolvency Institute, to bring forward in a few years from now principles of business restructuring in Asia, and I will follow it with close interest. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope to see you next time.